Pay really close attention to the tone of people's voices. When you're emotionally engaged in a subject, the brain learns 2, 3, even 4 times as fast. The one thing about words is that people can lie. They can say whatever they want. But when you find your life's task, everything opens up. The problem with people today is you're not paying attention to yourself. You're not inside your own head. You don't hear those voices. You don't hear what you love or what you truly enjoy anymore. Knowing the difference between a fake smile and a real smile is incredibly important in seduction, business, and life. A fake smile is something you see every single day, but you're not paying attention. Real confidence comes from actual actions, from real accomplishments. When you're 21 or 22, it's difficult to have confidence because what is it based on? Maybe you're fortunate enough to be good-looking, and you feel confident because of that. Maybe you're great at sports, but it's based on something real. You have a skill. You have something that separates you. You have something you can actually do and accomplish. I look back at myself at that age, and I had nothing. No wonder I got rejected. Confidence comes from what you do in life. The finest sense of confidence comes from creating things, achieving goals, having success, and building a record of accomplishment. Maybe money comes with that, but it isn't necessary. You don't need to be rich or exceptionally attractive. Confidence comes from what you can actually do, not from what you say. The feeling of confidence is built on real abilities, on skills that separate you from others and make you genuinely believe in yourself. We evolved for hundreds of thousands of years before language existed. Our earliest ancestors depended on the group for survival, and their greatest power came from observing other people's behavior and body language. Reading people is a skill wired into the human brain. It's one of our most unique abilities. As a child, you naturally possessed this skill because your life depended on it. You needed to know whether your mother loved you or whether your father was kind to you. Children are incredibly good at reading body language. That's why fake people often feel uncomfortable around children. Children see through them instantly because they are naturally attuned to authenticity. You had that ability too, but you lost it as you became more focused on words and more absorbed in yourself. That's why learning to observe people again is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. The whole body is involved in communication. The first thing you must do is stop focusing so much on people's words because words can lie. Someone can say, "I loved your screenplay. You were fantastic. I thought you were amazing." They can flatter you, please you, or manipulate you with words, but body language doesn't lie. I talk in my book about the eyes and the fake smile. You see fake smiles every day, but you're not paying attention. They're tight and forced. A real smile is completely different. The whole face becomes animated. The eyes light up. Tiny lines appear around the eyes. It's difficult to describe, but you know it when you see it. It's genuine. Knowing the difference between a fake smile and a real one is incredibly important in seduction, business, and everyday life. Someone may tell you they love your idea, but their body reveals they actually hate it. Once you master this language, you begin decoding what people are truly communicating. The face can sometimes be controlled because actors learn how to do that. But one thing people cannot fake is their voice. Even the greatest actors struggle to hide genuine nervousness. Your voice reveals your confidence, your insecurity, your strength, and your emotional state. Pay close attention to the tone of people's voices, to their pace, and to how they speak. People who speak very quickly are often nervous. Those who speak slowly with calmness and control usually project confidence. Body language and posture also reveal power. Walk into a business meeting and you'll often see employees leaning forward nervously while the boss sits back comfortably with crossed arms, silently communicating authority. Leadership is constantly expressed through posture. Imagine meeting someone at a party for the first time. While they're talking to you, notice their feet. If their feet are angled away from you, they're already looking for an opportunity to leave. They're not fully interested. But if their feet are pointed directly toward you, they're engaged. They want the conversation to continue. There are two sides to this game. First, you must become aware of your own body language because people are constantly judging you. You can't consciously monitor every movement or you'll become stiff and unnatural. The better solution is to cultivate genuine, emotions that naturally radiate through your body. Don't force smiles. When you're genuinely happy, let it show. The second side is learning to read the body language of others. That skill comes through study and observation. Our problem is that we think intelligence is only intellectual, but there are many forms of intelligence. There's verbal intelligence, abstract intelligence, mathematical intelligence, physical intelligence, and social intelligence. Your brain naturally leans toward one or sometimes two of these. It's like a grain in the wood. You become most powerful when you move with that natural grain instead of against it. When you're young, think back to when you were 4 or 5 years old. You may discover a direction, a voice inside you that was already pulling you toward something. Albert Einstein was only 4 years old when his father gave him a compass. He became fascinated by the invisible force that moved the needle. That obsession with invisible forces stayed with him for life. Tiger Woods watched his father hitting golf balls in the garage and immediately felt overwhelming excitement. He knew, even as a child, what he wanted to do. There are countless examples like this. As you grow older, around the age of 7, that inner voice begins to fade. You start hearing your teachers telling you what you're good at and what you're not. They tell you to focus on subjects you don't even enjoy. Your parents begin directing you toward the career they want for you. Their voices slowly become louder than your own. As you become a teenager, it gets even worse. Now your attention shifts to your peers, to what's popular, what's cool, and what everyone else is doing. All this noise enters your mind until you can no longer hear yourself. Eventually you go to college and choose a major that seems practical, or one your parents approve of. Then you enter the working world without that inner compass, and suddenly you're lost. You don't know where to go. Many people simply choose the path that promises the most money. I understand that because everyone needs to make a living, but making decisions based only on money often leads you down the wrong path because you have no emotional connection to the work. When you discover that deeper inclination, that natural grain inside you, you gain the energy to stay disciplined, to endure boredom, and to master difficult skills. You learn much faster because you're emotionally engaged. When you're emotionally connected to a subject, your brain learns 2, 3, even 4 times faster than when you're not. Most people only pay half attention because they have no emotional investment. But when you find the thing that truly belongs to you, your focus becomes deep, your emotions become involved, and your ability to learn accelerates dramatically. How do you find that when you're older? When you're 21, I can usually help people through that process, and it isn't as difficult as they think. It becomes harder when you're 30 and you've spent years wandering without direction, but it's still possible. By the time you're 40 or 50, it becomes much more difficult. And it's sad if you've allowed that unique seed inside you to go to waste. I tell people there are ways of going back. It's like archaeology. You have to dig and dig until you uncover the bones from your childhood that reveal what you were meant to do. When you finally discover your life's task, everything begins to open up. It doesn't mean you instantly know the exact job you'll have at 28. That's not how life works. What it gives you is direction. You can experiment, try different things, enjoy your 20s, and continue learning valuable skills. But you'll always have a framework guiding your decisions. Without it, you're surrounded by endless confusion. Social media, the internet, countless careers and opportunities pull you in every direction until you feel completely lost at sea. Your life's task becomes your compass. If you're forced to study subjects you hate, like mathematics for some people, it can turn you against learning altogether. You begin believing that discipline is painful, that studying leads nowhere, that learning simply creates frustration. Eventually, you stop wanting to improve in any area of life. That's why it's so important for children to experience something they genuinely love as early as possible. Once they discover that love, they also discover what they don't love and why. Then they naturally move toward the right direction, instead of rejecting learning itself. If you're naturally kinesthetic, for example, mastery will require endless practice. You won't become great overnight. That process demands genuine love because only love gives you the patience to repeat something thousands of times. Without that emotional connection, discipline becomes unbearable. That's why parents should allow children to experience those moments of excitement and curiosity that reveal what truly belongs to them. There are things that excite you because they give you immediate pleasure and instant gratification. Then there are deeper pursuits that give you fulfillment for years to come. As you grow older, you must learn to recognize the difference. Most people spend their lives chasing immediate pleasure instead of something meaningful. Discovering your life's task is a much deeper process. It isn't simply saying, I like this or I don't like that. It's something much larger. Whether you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, you have to start paying attention to yourself. The problem with people today is that they are no longer paying attention to themselves. They are not inside their own minds. They can't hear their own voices anymore. They no longer know what they truly love because they are surrounded by endless distractions. They're constantly watching social media, following trends, and becoming interested in whatever everyone else finds interesting, instead of stepping back and asking themselves, is this really me? Do I actually enjoy this? The connection to your life's task is not intellectual. It's visceral. It's emotional. It's physical. You feel it in your body. When you're doing the work you're meant to do, it feels as though you're swimming with the current instead of fighting against it. Things begin to click. There is joy in the process. That doesn't mean every moment is exciting. There will always be boredom, repetition, and tedious work. But you're able to endure those moments because you feel that deep connection to what you're doing. That deeper sense of purpose gives you the strength to keep going long after excitement disappears.